Preparing a sample tube and the distillation process. Put as many sample tubes into the sample tube rack as you have samples to distill. For liquid samples, add 6 milliliters of sample to each tube. For solid samples, add about 0.5 grams of solid sample to each tube. Then add approximately 5.5 milliliters of deionized water. In the cyanide, ammonia, and sulfide methods, you need to add a releasing solution. Using the repipetter, add the required volume of releasing solution to a sample tube. In the phenolics, tritium, and other methods, you don't need to add releasing solution. Immediately after adding the releasing solution, push the D end of a collector tube over the open end of the sample tube. Place the whole assembly of sample and collector tube into the press. The sample tube goes through the locator hole on the white base plate. Grip the collector tube firmly at the breakaway point with one hand, and then press down smoothly but firmly on the press handle until the stop ring on the sample tube hits the D end of the collector tube. Put on the gloves, then push each tube into the block with the sample tube down. Make sure you push the tubes all the way down into the block so that the stop ring hits the block. Otherwise, your recoveries will be low. It takes less than a minute to put 21 tubes in the block. Set the timer to count down the distillation time period for the method you are running. The poorly conducting polypropylene is heated rapidly within the block, yet very locally. As the sample boils, its vapors rise within the tube and pass through a hydrophobic porous membrane. The vapors condense above the membrane to form droplets, which pool over the membrane but cannot pass back through it. This is called in situ steam distillation. When the time is up, put the gloves on. Pull a tube from the block, then immediately pull off its sample tube using a downward twisting motion. Twist and pull down. Twist and pull down. Drop the sample tube into the sink or a bucket. It is okay if the other tubes keep distilling while you do this. You cannot recover more than 100% of the volatile analyte. The sample tube must be pulled within 4 seconds of pulling it from the block. Otherwise, you'll get suckback and the sample will be ruined, as we see next. The partial vacuum created by the still-attached cooling sample tube will cause the distilled sample to be sucked back into the sample tube. It's easy to pull off the sample tube, but it's so important to remember to do it immediately. As you can see, if you don't remember, it takes less than 30 seconds to ruin the completed samples. After about a minute, the collector tubes are cool enough to touch. In a good light, hold the collector tube horizontally and gather together any drops on the walls, rolling the distillate around inside the tube. Then slowly return the collector tube to a vertical position so that the D end is up. You can flick the tube to knock drops down into the condensate liquid. Break the collector tube in half by pulling the D end hard towards yourself to break it, then twisting and tearing off the D end, which you can discard. In most methods, you should now dilute the sample to the 6 milliliter mark on the tube. This dilutes the sample to its original volume. Then push another cap onto the open end of the tube as far as it will go. Shake the tube with a whipping motion to mix in the diluent water. Do not invert the sample. In some methods, such as the tritium method, the sample is not diluted. Make sure you read the method carefully before starting. You may now analyze the sample for the analyte just distilled. If you're not going to analyze the sample within an hour, Wrap parafilm around both ends of the collector tube to store until analysis. The sample can then be analyzed using a variety of automated and manual analytical methods. The LACHAT Instruments QuickChem Automated Ion Analyzer can process many batches of MicroDist tubes per day. Call LACHAT today to find out more about products to improve your lab's productivity. We hope this presentation has helped you to see how easy and even how much fun it is to use your MicroDist system to prepare and distill volatile analytes from your samples. If you have any questions not answered here, please contact us today. Inside the U.S., email support@lachatinstruments.com or call toll-free 1-800-247-7613. Outside the U.S., visit our website at www.lachatinstruments.com to find the name of your local distributor.